Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your host, Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much for all the comments. Thank you guys for all the new subscribers that have come on and joined us. Thank you so much for finding something valuable in what I have to say. Today I wanted to come on, and I wanted to come on quickly because I have some clients, but I wanted to come on and I wanted to talk about narcissists and money, or financial abuse. And remember, when you're dealing with narcissist abuse, you are dealing with domestic violence. It is domestic violence. It just so happened that the individual that is doing the domestic violence is a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. They have a psychological disorder. It's a personality disorder. So it is a character flaw. There's something, and they won't change. They're not going to change. It is a permanent personality flaw. It's a permanent personality disorder that medicine and therapy cannot change. They will not change. They're not going to change. A narcissist is a narcissist for life, and they usually, some of them stay on the low to mid-range scale, and some of them just elevate. And so you have to remember, you're dealing with an individual that's also very entitled. They have this sense of entitlement. And I went just to refresh my memory. I went to Psychology Today, and it was an article written by Dr. Susan Krauss Whitborn, and it was revisiting the psychology of narcissistic entitlement. But I just wanted to take a piece out of that when we were talking about, you dealing with a narcissist. You have to remember, they're very self-centered. They don't have compassion. They don't have empathy. They cannot bond with people. They don't bond. They look for people for the purpose of fuel. So they're looking to find fuel. That's all they're doing. They're looking to find fuel. And once you've run out of, sorry you guys, it's itching. So once you have run out of the appropriate amount of fuel for them, they go on to another supply. But they're always juggling supply. They always have secondary supply and tertiary supply, but they always have supply. They always have some type of secondary supply. Narcissists are never by themselves. So they always have a primary source of supply, the main one, but they always have secondary sources of supply. And so you're dealing with an individual that has this incredible and insatiable sense of entitlement. They feel like they are entitled to anything that you have. So if you think about it, for those of you that have businesses, those of you that have built businesses, built careers, a lot of you have become successful, but if you go back to the start of everything that you've done, you spent many hours in school, internships, residencies, training, under mentorship, under good counselor, under, you have this certification and that certification. You have these people with 1,000 degrees and titles at the end of their names, but they invested their time and energy in building it. You've made mistakes. The business may have failed and you pick the business back up. You've made mistakes, and so you respect your business, and because you have put a lot of work in it. You've stayed up late hours. You've cried many tears. You've been frustrated. You don't think you're helping people. You do think you're helping people. Some people like you. Some people don't like you. The ones you invest the most are the ones that leave you, and so this is all the work that you've put into it. Well, narcissists will look at what you have and feel that they're entitled to it. They don't need to work for it. They should have what you have. So you may have built a really nice nest egg. You have built maybe a really good income for yourself, where you may have come out of poverty. You may have been on food stamps back in the day when we had the food stamp bills, the books of food stamps instead of the EBT cards. You may have been on Section 8. You may lived in the projects or in the trailer parks. Who knows? You know what it was like to have one pair of good shoes and you couldn't get new clothes every school year. And so some of you have come from impoverished lifestyles, not because your parents, didn't care about you, for some of them, but a lot of times, because of the fact that you saw what poverty did, and you came out of poverty. You worked hard to establish something for you and your children. And so that narcissist comes along and feel like they're entitled to what you have. Forget the hard work. They want what you have, and I should be entitled to what you have. I should have the money that you have. That's why a lot of those somatic narcissists, they have this grandiosity about themselves. Well, they want people to believe that they're this celebrity. They have all this money and they can spend. And a lot of them are in debt, and they look for people. They look for certain supply in order to maintain their grandiose, or that illusion that they have cars and houses and clothes, and they have that. So they look for people, doesn't matter what you look like, or you could be a very weak, vulnerable individual, but you may be an individual that has a very high tolerance for pain, or they're looking for someone that is easy to manipulate in order to get into your pockets, because they have to maintain that lifestyle. So they'll look for people that have stuff. And so let's look at here. What does it say here? Let's look. There is a normal sense of entitlement where you've worked very hard for what you have, and you feel, you're not overdoing it, but you feel like, I deserve maybe a dinner once a month, or, you're pretty, you're pretty you manage your money pretty well. I deserve to go out to dinner maybe once a month, or maybe go treat myself to a massage, or whatever it is. But the difference for a narcissistic entitlement, which occurs, and this is what she says, which occurs when people's high self-appraisals are unrealistic and they don't really deserve the victories and attention they crave. So they'll try to get attention and talk about things that they're not even trained in. They'll tell you about the education and the experiences that they have, and there's no proof of the education, experiences, or certification. A lot of them may associate, name dropping. They'll associate themselves with people of high status. You guys have been looking at some of the comments on YouTube. Some of them know too much. They always have something to say to everybody's comments. They sound so intelligent, yet make no sense at all. They're constantly, when you start feeling like people are attacking you, you're making a comment, you feel attacked, and that person uses these big words and all this intellectual knowledge, and they sound real, but you're lost after they get through talking, and but that is that self-importance. So like I tell you guys all the time, watch who you interact with on YouTube. Some of the people you interact with are actually narcissists and not survivors. And they really sound so smart that they're dumb. They're dumb, but they're smart, but they sound so smart that you're lost. You have no clue what they're talking about. So you guys just want to throw that disclaimer in there. But anyway, so that sense of entitlement, they don't have any proof of what they're talking about. And half the time when they're talking about it, if you go research it, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's just a bunch of garbage. And so these are these self-entitled narcissists that feel like everybody owes them something. So here's another one. Let's look. Freedom from the Narcissist and Emotional Abuse. This is by, let's see who this is by. It doesn't say who it is by, but that is the name of the blog. But I found something on here that I just wanted to state, and the statement was, narcissists feel that they are superior to everyone around them. All of them do. They feel that they are owed special treatment, and we can't figure out why. Even if someone else is chosen over them, they get offended and lash out to those who they feel got in their way. Let's see. You may have been chosen for your achievements, and they have no achievements or proof of anything that they've ever done that's stable or realistic. But they're angry, and so they try to destroy you. Let's see. Those that are in more powerful or higher positions ought to be chosen. Hold on. Narcissists have such a grandiose thinking that they deserve this preferential treatment. Those in more powerful or higher positions ought to choose them for a special task. That's why you'll see many narcissists hobnob with the higher ups in the company. They try to affiliate with those that are in higher positions to make themselves look or appear on the same level as these high executive individuals. Some of those high executive individuals just want to get them out of their face, but they try to present themselves like I'm on the equal status as they are, and you're not at my level. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So the next one is, and this one is the narcissist's life. And here one of the statements were, according to Sam Vaknin, and if you guys know who that is, I think that's he's a narcissist and a narcissist expert, but I think he is a narcissist. And let's look. So, and what he said was, his money is another word for love in the narcissist's emotional vocabulary. It's also a power and control thing. Remember that. Having been deprived of early love early in the narcissist's childhood, he constantly or she constantly seeks love substitutes. To him or her, money is an ultimate love substitute. Let's see. He also states that all qualities of the narcissist are manifested in his relationship or her relationship with money and an attitude toward it. For example, due to his or her sense of entitlement, he or she feels that he or she is entitled to other people's money. Doesn't make any sense, does it? And some of you are thinking like, you're not entitled to my money. You didn't earn it. You know, you didn't help me build this vast fortune or this little bit that I do have. But they feel like they are entitled to your money. So you'll find a lot of them. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's see. The grandiose thinking of the narcissist may lead them to believe that they should have or do have more money than they actually possess. That's why a lot of them are in debt. That leads to reckless spending, pathological gambling, substance abuse, or compulsive shopping. And a lot of them, you'll see them in expensive cars, expensive homes, expensive clothes, and the families are suffering, or they're not paying certain bills. They're behind on bills. They're irresponsible when it comes to money. They're irresponsible, but the illusion that they create for people is that they are, you know, they have this beautiful home, they have these beautiful cars, they always have the latest name brand this, and some of the name brand is actually counterfeit, just to let you guys know. But, you know, counterfeit this, you know, but they live this illusional life, you know, and they ride around as if they're in you know, living the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And in actuality, they're struggling, they steal, you know, they lie in order to maintain that image for the public. And the families usually are suffering, but they're very irresponsible when it comes to money. And I'm going to tell you guys how they hide it too, okay? Let's see. Narcissists engage in magical thinking, which leads them to irresponsible, short-sighted behavior for which they believe they are immune from. That results in from the results of that behavior. They descend into debt, commit financial crimes, and hassle people, including their closest relatives. So remember, a lot of them do commit fraud. A lot of them counterfeit, fraud. What else? Steal money, find ways of embezzling money, insurance frauds. And so you'll find them doing a lot of illegal stuff to maintain that image of themselves. And a lot of people don't believe there's no possible way that that individual would do that. They're too trustworthy. Okay, they're a narcissist. Let's see. Their reality is distorted and does not match their grandiose fantasy. Fantasy. Nowhere is the grandiosity gap more evident than where money is involved. So let's see. What else? Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, let's move over to how narcissists use money to abuse. And this is by Christine Hammond. She has a master in science, and she's a licensed mental health counselor. And this is on the site Central Professional. So this is PsychCentral.com. And she says, well, here it says, she quoted Devin Corton, a former Harvard Business School professor, said money is a mechanism for control. So most of you guys, if you go look at the power and control wheel when you're dealing with domestic violence, you find out that that is one of the power and control tools that is used, which is money and the control of money over the victim or the survivor. So let's see. Even a little bit of money gives a narcissist a sense of power and domination over people. It starts off small with the little things like removing your name from accounts, and then grows into stealing, threats, and extortion, tax evasion or tax fraud, like I said, money laundering, or anything. So let's look. So you have to remember that in the love bombing stage, you'll notice that a lot of the narcissist spends large amounts of money on you, buying you presents and expenses. But remember, everything that they're doing serves a purpose of why they're doing it. They're pulling you in so they can use that against you. So what they expect you to do is to submit without question and to immediately comply with their demands because of how much money they've spent on you. They flaunt their money and use it as a weapon against less fortunate, including you and other family members. You'll also find these individuals, and I know you guys have seen it, they'll walk around with a bulk of money in their pocket. And if you watch them, they'll peel $100, and then underneath it is like a whole bunch of ones, but the wad is about this big. Be careful when people always try to show you their wads of money in their pocket. Usually that means they're broke. But they forbid you to access to your money or possessions, so that you are entirely dependent on them for food, clothing, shelter, and necessities. And so they will cut you off from your own bank account, and you're putting money in there, and then they divvy. It's like they give you money, a little amount of money, and you have to scrape. It's like you're poor, but yet you have a job and they have a job and you have money coming in, but they divvy out money to you, like they put you on a budget where you barely have enough money to, for food and clothing and to for your kids in general. They steal from you and your family and expect everyone to be okay with it. So that means they'll take money out of your account. They'll take money out of other people's account and put it in their accounts, or hide it in different accounts. They'll open up other accounts so you don't know that they have additional money and assets in it. They defraud or exploit your financial resources for their financial gain, not yours. They destroy your personal belongings without remorse, especially items that have great significance prior to your relationship. Remember, we were talking about heirlooms. Heirlooms, you may have inheritances. You may have things of value in your home that may have been passed down from generation to generation that has a significance, or gold, or, but they'll take it and they have no sense of value for it because they don't value you. They prevent you from acquiring assets, insisting that you solely rely on them. They demand all financial gifts or inheritance to be placed in their names. Because, and then you may find them using that, we call it the head of the household, but they'll abuse that, especially like within the churches or within, the hierarchy in certain cultures, where the male is the dominant, the hierarchy within the families, the king and the king. That's why I call you guys kings, the head of the households. Not everybody believes in that, but the kings, the head of the households, and they'll use that position not to co-reign with you as a queen, but they'll use that position as a position of dominance to control you and then tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing as a controller. And they'll use their position of power as the man or the head of the household. It could be a woman too, the head of the household, to take what you have from you. They refuse you access to money to pay court-ordered child support or spousal support. So they really put you in a position where you can get yourself in trouble. They coerce you in selling or signing over financial assets that are in your names, retirements, 401k plans, properties you may own. They try to get you to put their name on it or sign their name over because they know how to invest better than you, and I have these skills, but they haven't proven it to you guys yet. Let's see. They have a big game, big talk, but they haven't proved anything to you. So they talk a big game, but they never can prove that big game to you. Even when they do prove it, they'll prove something just momentarily to have you believing that they're like that consistently, and they're not. Let's see. Press you to agree to power of attorney so they can sign legal documents for you without reciprocation. They'll cancel your life. They cancel life, health, car, house insurance without your knowledge, leaving you vulnerable, and then claim that the expense is unnecessary. They'll even cancel life insurance policies, so that you don't get anything. They can get something, but you won't get anything. That's crazy. And both of you guys are alive. They may open up bank accounts in their name, and or yours, but won't give you access to allow you to see records, where the money is going, how the money is being spent. They won't be accountable for the money that's going in and out of the bank. And a lot of times they do have secondary supply. Remember that. Or they buy stuff for other people. So, because they're buying people, they force for you to hand over your check and deposit into their account, and then they deny you access to the money. So you work, but they're solely responsible for the finances. They don't include you to any major financial decisions or anything. Don't even allow you make money, but you're not even allowed any access to your own money. It's almost like being prostituted. You're not even allowed. They're like pimps. So you are like prostituted out to work, break your back working hard, and then they take all your money. Let's see. They forbid you from maintaining a personal bank account, insisting that you are incapable of managing such things. So some of you that have gotten out of these relationships, you have listened to what they've said, and you feel like you can't manage your household, you can't manage your finances, and but yet you're finding out that you're pretty good at what you do. Own investment accounts at various financial institutions that are unknown to you and have secret stashes of money, and some of that money comes from your money. They become very angry when you confront them and claim that you're hiding money from them. They'll flip the script and make it seem like you're hiding money. and it's actually them that's hiding money. So you listen, they'll tell you what they're doing. Let's see. They'll put all the bills or credit cards in your name, the assets in their name, but the debt is in your name. That keeps you hostage. Some men and women actually, when they get with you, they go buy these high-end items, cars and homes and everything, and they put it in your name to hold you responsible for it, or put that in their name so that you can't take it from them. But if you try to leave, you are just as much responsible as they are. And if they know that you are a responsible person, they'll walk off and leave you with the debt, knowing that you'll figure out a way to get the debt out of your name, because your names are connected to it. So they'll walk away knowing that you will be the responsible one to try to resolve this debt and get this debt out of your name. They're not going to do it, and they know that you're not going to hold them responsible because your name is attached to it. You'll try to do whatever you can to get that stuff out of their name. That they're irresponsible. They'll max out your credit cards without your knowledge, then blame you when confronted. They're not making it. They get a whole bunch of credit cards with your name on it, and they won't even let you have your credit cards, and they'll max your credit cards out. You have no clue. Your credit is all jacked up, and you have no clue. They increase debt without agreement, and then lie about it when discovered. They claim credit card companies make enough money and therefore they don't deserve to be paid. See, they're entitled. Rules and laws do not govern them. They're rule and lawmakers, and so those rules and laws, if they don't like them, it doesn't apply to them. They'll use your child's social security number without permission to claim additional income tax refunds. Often this is done in a fraudulent manner. Falsify tax records to show greater reductions than is true, then expect you to sign documents without question. They justify their behavior by saying everyone does it, or you don't know what you're talking about, or I know what I'm doing, you're not trained in this. And they really have you signing false documents knowing that they're lying. Deplete tax sheltered money such as retirement without your knowledge, and you're expected to trust them. So they deplete all your money, and then you don't have anything to account for. They don't have anything to account for, but they'll keep throwing. See, I'm trying to build a business, and everybody makes mistakes when they're first doing businesses. Everybody doesn't come out on top. It usually they'll take something that you're learning in business, but they'll use it against you because they're irresponsible. They shame you for how you spend your money while elevating their superior spending habits. And you may be a very responsible spender and they're not. They put you on a strict allowance with an impossible budget. It's impossible. You can't do anything with that money. You can't even leave, and they know it. Force you to beg for money, for clothes, for food, for medicine, or personal hygiene items, and then claim you really don't need them anyway. They'll give you some alternative means to go make sure that happens. And you always have your hand out. And you're thinking, but I have my hand out to get my own money that I put in the account with you. And they'll tell you, you eat too much. The cat eats too much. The kids eat too much. The gerbil is fat. The fish is bloated. They'll come up with any kind of excuse and tell you how they eat. I eat once a week. And so you guys eat too much. I inhale my food through a straw. You guys should puree your food and inject it in your vein. Crazy stuff. I mean, it sounds hilarious, but they say stupid stuff. And they live, and some of you guys have lived like this so long that when you get out of the relationship, to you, this is normal. To other people, they're looking like, this is abnormal. This is not right. And it takes time for you to unwind your mind to realize that this is not real. This is not normal. This is not right. Let's see. Spend money. So spend money on them. But not you, claiming that you don't deserve it because of your poor budgeting abilities. They always come up with a reason why they should spend hundreds and thousands of dollars or lots of money on things for themselves. And then you want something as simple as a bar of soap. And they tell you that you don't know how to budget and you don't know how to use your soap appropriately. But you have to explain to them, if it's a family of 10, 9 of us are using this one bar of soap, it's going to run out. And then they'll still make you feel crazy and make you think, well, you should divvy it up in small chunks and everybody should take a bath once a week. Hilarious as it may seem, but this is how they think. Let's see. They'll try to prevent you from using your car, taking your keys. They insist that they are more important that they are more important than you being on time, that this relationship is more important and you need to stay here and work this out. So they'll impede they just impose on your time. You got to go to work, but they feel like if this relationship is important, everything else is irrelevant at this time, that you need to focus. And you're thinking like, I need to get to work or we're going to be evicted if I don't bring money in the first place. Bills need to be paid. But they focus because they're entitled, they are self-absorbed, they are narcissists, they are ridiculous. They'll force you to work in a family business with little or no pay, controlling all other budgets, so they won't even pay you. Whatever you're supposed to earn, well, this is the family business. It goes back into the business. No, I need some money. I'm not gonna. That's slavery to work for free. You're gonna work me for free and not pay me. Forbids you from earning money, attending school, or advancing your career because you might escape. They demand total financial dependence on them. So they'll give you, you should be a housewife, you should be a house dude, a house father. And there are some, guys that are retired and they are perfect house dudes. I don't know if that's appropriate terminology, but house husband. There we go. And the wife works, or vice versa. They want the wife to stay home, attend the kids. You don't need to work. I supply enough. They make it sound all wonderful. You stay home. I don't want my wife working. I'll give you whatever you need. I'll make sure you're taken care of. I just want you to stay at home and stress-free with the kids. No, that's a power and control thing. There are some people that are very genuine in saying that. So don't get me wrong. There are some men that are very genuine. And when they say that, baby, if you want to work, you can work, but I got you, baby. And that they're very genuine in what they say. But there are some that are doing it on purpose to keep you dependent on them completely. They don't allow you access to the bank account. They don't allow you access to see what kind of bills you have, don't know what kind of money. So you leave out a relationship, you know nothing. And sometimes I have a lot of widows that say, I don't know anything. I don't know if they had a life insurance plan. I don't know if they had finance. I don't know anything because they never shared anything with me. They interfere with your work environment, by calling your boss and demanding you to be treated a certain way. Or they'll call your boss and go off on the boss because they want to talk to you right now. You could be a surgeon in surgery. They call the head of the hospital and demand that I need to speak to her or him right now. I don't care if they're in a brain surgery operation. I don't care. I need them to come to the phone now. Crazy. Insist on having access to your work emails and calendar, knowing details about your job that is excessive, unprofessional, and violates confidentiality. Let's see. Harass you at work through unannounced visits, excessive phone calls or texting to negatively impact your job. They claim that they're in charge of you, not your boss, but it causes problems at your job, and people are looking at you like you need to control what's going on at home and not bring that to the job because it is interfering with your work. And a lot of times you end up getting fired, and so they'll force you to leave or even cause you to get fired on purpose. Work is blamed and not them. And so this is some of the things, not all, because some of you guys have stories, but this is how they use and abuse money. And it falls under domestic violence on the power and control wheel. And this is how the narcissist operates. This entitled individual that has no sense of accountability, laws, rules, regulations do not apply to them if they don't want it to. If they don't like it, it just doesn't. Court orders. If they don't like the way the court order sounds, I'm not going to follow the entire court order. And we'll argue with the judge. We'll argue with the judge and with the lawyers. And sometimes, you wonder, like, how did they get away with that? If the average person would have done that, and some of the judges have a soft heart too, but the narcissists they are a doozy. They are a doozy. So hopefully this has helped you guys some, give you some information about how money is used to control and abuse you, and why and how narcissists do this. So I know some of you have additional stories. Please share. Please share. Please make your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Support each other. There's some of you guys need to stop giving other people advice. When someone shares, their opinion is their opinion, and people are entitled to their own opinions. You don't have the right to tell someone that they're wrong about their opinion. You don't have a right to attack them on YouTube. And a lot of you YouTubers, a lot of you subscribers, I really honor you guys, because some of you guys, I know you can go off, and a lot of you don't, and I really commend you guys for that, because a lot of you can go off. Some of you guys are supernovas, and I know you can go off, because I have dealt with some of you guys, and some of the comments that are being made, you guys really maintain and you stay quite professional, and I really honor you guys for that, because people that make comments and attack you on YouTube, you guys keep it low key and you keep it cool, and I really like that. Delete, I don't think you guys can delete them, but I do go through there and I delete, and eventually, and I'm just putting this forewarning art there, if it continues and people continue to harass you guys, you are welcome to email me, Dr. Carmen Bryant, DrCarmenBryant @outlook.com, and just let me know, and I will go and review the comments, and I will ban them from the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, if you guys feel attacked. If you guys feel attacked. Now, sometimes people are just giving you the truth, but if you feel attacked or harassed, let me know. I do scroll through there from time to time and delete stuff, and I do have a moderator. She TMG, that's my girl. She goes through there and she checks comments as well. And so, and we do check, and the whole thing is to protect you guys here on YouTube. Everybody that's on this YouTube channel is not a survivor. Some of you guys are actually having conversations with narcissists. And because I make these videos and I'm teaching you guys, I want to make you aware, not just when you go out and live, but look at some of the comments that are on the YouTube channel. I want to make you guys aware when you point them out yourself. I'm not going to point them out. I want you guys to determine the behavior, even the language, of the people. If it gets out of hand, I'll take care of it. TMG will take care of it for me. And I do review. You guys email me and let me know, okay? But eventually, I'll just block them off the channel, because I'm here to protect you guys on this channel. I try to be very diligent in that, to protect you guys. You guys have been through enough of being harassed, of being, and you guys are coming here to get a breath of fresh air. You guys are coming to be encouraged, to be empowered. And so when people are harassing you guys, I take that very seriously, and I do go scroll through to see what people are saying. But you got to remember, not only do survivors come out, narcissists come out. It's like turning on the lights and the roaches come out. Come on, you guys. Come on, that's how we do it. Let's keep it real. You turn the lights off, and then all of a sudden you turn the lights off, all the roaches are out. And so these channels are not just drawing out survivors and helping you guys survive. It's drawing out the roaches. The narcs are coming out. You can tell by the stupid stuff that they say, and some of the dumb comments that they make. Come on, you guys are bigger than that. We're survivors, and we're bigger than that. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. And remember, as I always say, not just go be great, but as I always say, before you plan your escape, make sure you have resources and you have a plan together. Talk to legal advocates, talk to domestic violence advocates, especially those of you that are in marriages and have children. Talk to legal advocates to find out what your rights are, so that you trying to escape out of there, you don't make any legal mistakes that can be held against you. Talk to the domestic violence advocate, the legal advocates, talk to a lawyer, the shelter programs. Talk to them and get good resources and make a plan of escape. But make sure that you are legally and you are well informed. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. As my friend always says, go and be great. Oh yeah, and if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the bell. I upload Tuesday through Friday with our pre-recorded videos. I come on Sunday live between 8 and 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is West Coast time, the California side of the house. Please join me. I love interacting with you guys, and I leave it open for question and answers and to interact with you guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and talk to you guys tomorrow.